A user in the United States wants to print this design on a sheet of paper that's in common use in the US and have it printed to a fixed scale. I can see here that a layer is on that needs to be turned off. That's the construction layer, which I'll turn off. And what I've done is move to the format drop down, and I've created a new layout, and it's called layout 3. I can click in there and we'll call this, you may notice down here to the right that it's scale 1 to 128 of an architectural C size. So it's a landscape plan. It's 1 to 128 and it's on an architectural C sheet. When I do that, that should have changed it, shouldn't it? But it didn't. So we'll go into our Layouts Manager and do the same thing. Now the reason that failed is I didn't hit the Enter key after typing that in, and now you'll notice down here that we've got the information that we want. So how was that done? I'll demonstrate first with a larger sheet. So we'll go Format, Layouts, we'll create a new one. GCAD Plus is defaulting in this instance to the A4 series, and A5 and so on, but what we're after is Architectural D this time and Landscape, and we're okay. So if we go to Layout 3 that we just made and Zoom Extent, the white area across here is the size of an architectural D size sheet. To set the scale factor, we double click in here and move and adjust that magenta box, which everything inside that box will appear in or on the sheet. If we click here, notice the view scale is somewhat difficult to interpret, 0.3284. Well, in GCAD Plus we have tools to help that. Let's go back to our architectural C size sheet and we'll just pick that border. That's the floating viewport. And you see the view scale is 0.42, and that corresponds to 1 in 128, and I'll show you how that was done. We go to Modify and pick Set Fixed Scale in Layout. The prompt then says pick the layout. We have to nominate, is it metric or imperial? It's imperial. And you can see that I've run this, just type 1 over 128. So if we typed, say, 1 over 192, everything will zoom out 1 over 192, which these are all common scales in the imperial system. And can you see we zoom out, and that sets the fixed scale for you. If you take off that and dive back in, you can then change what you see on the layout, like so. And to reset it how I had it, it would just be the same. Modify, set fixed scale, pick, follow the prompts, pick the floating viewport, and we want 1 over to 8, and you'll notice that when we do that, it automatically locks this setting in the properties box to a fixed scale. The next thing we need to do, our designer has wisely, I think, included a scale bar. It's a 50 feet scale bar. But what he wants to do is to print copies of the sheet with the information about the scale and sheet size there, and date of issue and so on. And for that, if I go back to model space, the plant schedule's here, and we'd put that on a separate sheet. But if we pick this, it's a block just called title. It's one of the blocks available in the details section of your copy of GCAD Plus for the Imperial environment. And I've just selected the block, right-clicked, and go into Edit. And then I can make any changes that I want in here. And if you are working as a professional designer, you could have a client name and address and so on. That's not necessary in this case. Our designer's just interested in how do I print the design at a fixed scale. And I hope we've demonstrated that